I feel like Japanese people are more like silent givers. Like they volunteer, they donate, they just don't brag about it like the Western world do. Like they volunteer and they go home. And that's it. Like you don't really hear people talking about it. My mom, she has her own printing business. She needed a website. She was like, "Oh, well, can you make me a website?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." It'll be my first project to like test out, my coding skills. And so I did it, and she was getting so many compliments. Like people were like, "Oh, who made your website?" And she was like, "Oh, Jasmine." And so her clients then started asking like, "Oh, can you ask her to make me something?" So my husband was like, you should probably make this into a thing. He was like, you could make money off of that. So he like literally took a 8-hour night bus from Gunma to Gifu to take me on a date. And at the time, my sister was like, if you don't go on a date with this guy, you're crazy, because that's some dedication. And the second night, he bought his bus ticket to go back to Gunma, and we were sitting at Nagoya Station waiting for his bus to come. And I was like, I don't want you to leave. And so after he left, I called my mom. As soon as the bus left, I was like, Mom, I'm going to marry that kid.
Welcome back, guys, to the Kotodama Podcast. The guest I have with me today is Jasmine Tsunoda. She is the CEO and the founder of Tsunoda Stylings, which is a web design company for small businesses. And she's also the global community team leader for Giving Tuesday Japan, which is a kind of a charity volunteer organization. And I'm so excited to have you here, Jasmine. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Me too. I'm so excited. From the beginning, I'm already making it. I told her before the camera started rolling, I was like, turn off your aircon. I cannot hear you. She's cooking in her room.
I am.
But yeah, I'm so excited. I had some entrepreneurs and founders on and some CEOs. I have never had someone on the show actually who works with a charity organization. But I'm super interested to hear your story about both things. So first of all, let's just start from the very beginning, not the very beginning of time and the universe, but maybe from the very beginning of your story. Why are you in Japan? What's going on? How did you end up here? Why do you have a Japanese name?
So, okay. When I was in university, my junior year, I was interested in double majoring in Asian studies. My major was mass communication, so I was taking photojournalism. I wanted to work in like photo design, work for magazines, that kind of thing. And at the time I was taking Spanish, and I love Spanish. It was great, but it was a little too easy for me. So I wanted a challenge and like to do another language. So at the time, my roommate and I were really into like Japanese culture and like J-pop and anime and stuff. So we were like, let's just take Japanese. Why not? So I switched it to double major minor in Asian studies. And so I started taking Japanese culture classes in Japanese. And then the opportunity to study abroad in Japan came up. And I told my roommate, I was like, we should just go. Like, let's just go. And I stayed for a year. I was studying at Nagoya University, and I loved it. I loved Nagoya. It was one of the best years of my life. And when I came back home to graduate, I told my parents, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to move to Japan. And I did. And I never left. I've been here ever since. Yeah, so this will be my 13th or 14th year here.
Wow, that's a long time. That's crazy. But you know what's funny when you say 13 years? I think because when I moved here the first time, it was also 13 years ago. So, but I went back and then I came back and then I went back and then I came back again. So I just have this like love affair with Japan as well. But now I'm here to stay. I'm here to marry Japan and never leave.
Yes.
But, I love that. So then you decided to stay here, and do you live in Tokyo right now?
No, I actually live in Gunma. So I'm in the Inaka. But I honestly love it. Like,
Yeah.
it's so different compared to when I was in Nagoya, because Nagoya is just like it's a big city. And then after I left Nagoya, I actually moved to Gifu, and I was in Ogaki. I was ALTing for a little bit. and the company that I was working for at the time was hiring for like assistant role management roles. And so that golden week I actually met my now current husband, who's Japanese. So that's where my last name comes from. We met during Golden Week and just were friends at the time. And he's from Guma. And so he was like, yeah, you should come visit Guma. And I'm like, at the time, I was like, I don't even know where that is, but okay, sure. And so we hung out and he ended up like just being like, yeah, you should just like move to Guma. I was like, move to Guma.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's how it happened. And so I left Gifu and came to Guma, and I've been here for about 7 years. Yeah, so it's been about half and half. Like I was in Chubu for a while, and then I came to Kanto, and I love it. I love Guma. I mean, it's very quiet. There's not much that goes on, but I think for where I'm at in my life right now, I like it. Like,
Wow. I mean,
yeah.
that's just so interesting. And we can like also talk about, interracial marriages because my partner is also
Mhm.
Japanese. Um, yeah. And so that's another topic we will explore hopefully. But first I want to ask you,
Sure.
yeah. So it sounds like, so how did you, I mean, how did you just decide to found your own company? Because like the reason I'm asking is I have interviewed people who have done this and talked to many founders and
Mhm.
CEOs in my private life as well, and I feel like they all have something in common, which is this audacity to just start something. And I think you know what I mean, in the best way I mean that, but
Yes.
it's like it takes
Yes.
courage. And so I wonder, what was the reason you started and how did you feel in the beginning?
So, how Snow Stylings came about, it actually it's because of the pandemic. Like, Corona happened, and I was actually pregnant with my son in 2020, and he was actually premature. He was born at 32 weeks. So, we were very high risk, and I couldn't leave the house. So, I had to quit my at the time job because he was in the NICU for about 34 days. And nobody but me and my husband at the time could go and visit him. And it was like very strict. It was crazy. And I was wondering like what I would even do because by the time he came home and everything was stabilized and stuff, I didn't really want to go back to my old job. And I mean, at the time I was working at an international kindergarten and I loved it. It was great, but I was worried about, I guess, infecting my son because his immune system was still not very, very good. And he was constantly getting sick a lot. And so I've always wanted to learn how to code. And when I was quarantined, when he was able to come home for the first time, I just started taking coding classes online and just in my spare time. And I loved it. I became obsessed. I think I finished like 3 or 4 courses within a month. And at the time, my mom, she has her own printing business. She needed a website. She was like, "Oh, well, can you make me a website?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? It'll be my first project to like test out, my coding skills." And so I did it, and she was getting so many compliments. Like people were like, "Oh, who made your website?" And she was like, "Oh, Jasmine did." And I was like, "Yeah, I just did it for fun. It wasn't really like anything." And so her clients then started asking like, "Oh, can you ask her to make me something?" And I was just like, "Oh my God."
Ah,
So my husband was like, "You should probably make this into a thing." Because I was just doing it for fun at the time. And he was like, "You can make money off of that. Like, you're like giving them a service." And
yeah.
so my husband, he helped me register the business. And he also owns his own business. So he's already been through the process of how to register a business and like
Wonderful.
so I think I was very blessed in that. Like I didn't have to do it on my own. Like he really just did the paperwork for me. Like I didn't really do anything. But he was kind of like my first sponsor, I guess you could say. Like he gave me the startup funds to do it and he really encouraged me to because he really wanted me to focus more on staying home because our son was always so sick, and
Yeah.
it wasn't ideal for me to go to a regular, like, 9 to 5, I guess you could say. And
Yeah.
it just kind of snowball effect after that. So, yeah.
Wow. So it sounds like it was kind of out of necessity and for your family, and also from, I mean, I love that your husband is so, so supportive there, because I think it's, sadly, I hear a lot of stories where partners are not really supportive of each other's dreams, and I'm just like, wait, what? That's the one person who should be on your team, like what? Um, so I love
Yeah,
that.
right?
Yes, what the hell is going on in the world? But I love
I
that.
think he kind of owed me that, because when we first got engaged and I moved from Gifu to Gunma, he was just starting into his business, and he was working at like a tourism association during the day. And he would always come home and be like, I hate this job. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to focus 100% on my actual business. And I was like, well, you should do it. And he was like, oh, I just worried about, like, if we're going to have enough money in the meantime. And I was just like, I'm a very low maintenance girl. Like, I don't really need, like, shoes, bags, makeup. Like, I don't do all that, I guess, conventional girly stuff.
Yeah.
So I told him, I was like, just do it. It's fine. We'll be fine as long as we, you know, keep our stuff together. It'll be fine. And so so I was the one who supported him first. And then a few years later, after we had our son, then it was his turn to support me. So,
I love
yeah.
that. Oh my God, that's so wholesome. Sorry, we're still going to talk about the business, but I want to kind of drive this conversation now in a more relationship way, because okay, but okay, okay, so then you're doing this. By the way, I'm very spiritual, so I see like a lot of like, I think purpose in, I feel like when people really follow their intuition, a lot of good things happen. Because I feel like the universe
Mm-hmm.
and like God, whatever you want to call it, right? It's like pushing you towards your purpose. And so I love how
Yeah.
for you, the business just started coming in through someone, right? And so I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a perfect kind of representation of what happens, guys, when you just follow your joy, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, and then it took off, right? I mean, now you're doing this for a longer time, right? How long is the business running now?
So we just celebrated our 4-year anniversary last
Yay.
month in October.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it's been 4 years since I started it. And yeah, I want to say I want to say 90% of my new clients come from recommendations from my current clients. So I've been lucky in that I don't really have to invest that much in like marketing or whatever, but it's usually just I would do something and then somebody would tell someone else, and then they will contact me and say, oh, I heard you did, a social media calendar for so-and-so or a website for so-and-so, or help them trademark their logo or whatever. And can you help me? And I'm just like, yes, it's fine. Yes, I
Oh,
will.
so you do trademarks as well and like other services, yeah?
Yeah, we do web design. I do marketing services, social media management. We just recently partnered with Booking.com and Agoda, so we do travel arrangement
Wonderful.
services, translation services.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a
Yeah, so
lot.
it's a lot. So I have my freelance team that help me out a lot with certain tasks. And
Amazing.
yeah, it's been great.
That's really, really cool. May I ask you with which visa you're there? Here, I mean.
Oh, I'm on a spouse visa.
You're on the spousal visa. Okay, yeah. Because I was thinking,
Mhm.
okay, because it's easier to do freelance and get kind of whatever you want on the spousal
Mhm.
visa for everyone who doesn't know, because the
Mhm.
spousal visa legally kind of makes you Japanese. I mean, not really, but you kind of just do whatever you want with the spousal visa. So it's a
It's true.
great option for people who actually, I'm not saying you should just marry anyone, but if you really have a partner that you love, and like you should
Yes.
go for that. It's the best visa to. Some people may say, oh, you never know about the relationship. Yeah, but you never know about any job either. And in my opinion,
That's true.
yeah, and in a lot of jobs that are actually more toxic than most relationships that I've seen. So
Yes.
that's my little rant.
Yes.
And so I love that. That's super, super interesting. And
Mhm.
I don't know. It's wonderful. And so, how did you get? When we talk about the Giving Tuesdays, the charity organization, and you told me before we started recording that it's actually like an American, U.S. based, I
Mhm.
think, organization, and it's a subsidiary here in Japan. That you're basically leading the Japan side of it, right? How did that
Mhm.
happen, and what is driving you there?
Sure. So my mom actually, for as long as I can remember, has been into volunteering and charity. The main thing that she really works with is the St. Jude Hospital, and they do the rally, like run marathon every year. And so every year she like gathers people together and gets donations and everything. And so I guess volunteering and nonprofit has always been a part of my life. And so outside of just small businesses, I also do services for like influencers and like nonprofit organizations. So one of the nonprofits that is my current client, Their Voice, they help children with like cerebral palsy, which is like a spinal disease. And she was doing a campaign for Giving Tuesday. And at the time, I was like, I don't know what that is. But she asked me like to update her website to talk about it. So I did a little research and she was like, yeah, you should look into it. It's a great cause, blah, blah, blah. So I did. And I, at the time, didn't realize it was like a global movement. So, like, at the time, I think it was like 80 countries were involved in Giving Tuesday. Now it's like over 100 and something. But I realized that Japan didn't have like a hub or like a team or whatever. So I reached out to the global team and I was like, yeah, I'm in Japan and I'm really interested in Giving Tuesday. So how do I get started? And I went through like the screening process and background checks and whatever you want to call it. And yeah, then they were like, yeah, you're great. You should do it. And I was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into?
Ah,
And so, yeah, that's how it happened.
so do you do it without receiving any money, or is that your a job now?
We don't get paid for it from the global team. We receive sponsorship from our sponsors. Right now, our grand sponsor is the United States Japan Foundation, and they are sponsoring us. Will be our second year that they have sponsored us to, I guess, spread awareness. We're still in the awareness phase of just letting people in Japan know that there's a lot of good going on in Japan. It's just, I feel like Japanese people are more like silent givers. Like they volunteer, they donate, they just don't brag about it like the Western world do. Like they volunteer and they go home and that's it. Like you don't really hear people talking about it. But there's so
Oh,
much going on. I feel like we as Giving Tuesday can be like the voice or the platform for people to get this kind of information because since we've launched our website, I've noticed we get a lot of traffic of people wondering where can they volunteer, where can they donate, where can they send like their old clothes or whatever. Because especially if you're not fluent in Japanese, it's difficult to get that kind of information.
yeah.
So we do dual language our site in English and Japanese. And yeah, it's been really great. We've had a lot of success. We have over maybe 40 partners now with Giving Tuesday Japan. So
Wow.
and hopefully growing. Yeah, and we're going to try and launch our line campaign next year, which is exciting. So,
Wow, that's so cool. So you do
yeah.
kind of all this marketing stuff again, right? Like it's like, um,
Yes.
yeah. And for anyone who hasn't volunteered ever, what would you tell them is the most, how does it make you feel?
I think when you are volunteering for a cause that you really believe in or something that's near and dear to you, if it feels better because anybody can go and just give clothes or donate something, money in a box. But when you have a connection to like a certain cause, like a single mother's thing or the homeless thing, or we're actually next weekend we're going to Tokyo to volunteer for Yumi We. They're a organization in Tokyo and they help with orphan children who don't have who don't have parents. And so we're going and we're going to help wrap presents to give to the orphanages for Christmas. So that's really exciting because it's our first time doing this event. And so we as Giving Tuesday and I personally as Tsunoda Signs will be donating gifts for the kids. And I'm just really excited
Wow, that's
to see it all.
wonderful. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Guys, if you have the time, try to sometimes do it, anything that you are
Yeah.
interested in, or just some random acts of kindness. I mean, things
Yeah.
go a long way sometimes. I feel like sometimes a
Exactly.
smile can go a long way when people have a shitty day.
Exactly.
And I think everyone has a different way of giving, right? I mean, not
Mhm.
everyone has to give with money. Not everyone has to give
Mhm.
with, volunteering. But it is an
Mhm.
inspiration. It can make you think about, okay, in what ways am I able to give? It might be
Yeah.
just kindness, or it might
Yeah.
be, like everyone has a different gift. So I think it's very inspiring, and I think it's wonderful that there's people like you out there who put in the effort, and it's really inspiring. I love that story so much.
And that's like the beauty of Giving Tuesday is that like there is no obligation. Like all of our partners that partner with us with Giving Tuesday, like we always tell them like you're already doing something. Like for Giving Tuesday Japan, our slogan mission statement is do you believe that you're changing the world right now? Because I feel like everybody at some point in their life has done something that has changed the trajectory of somebody else's life. And sometimes we get so focused on the foolishness that's going on in the world that we forget that, just take a moment and remember the good stuff, you know?
I love that so much, and I also want to talk with you about interracial relationships, okay? Because
Sure.
I often get people to, if you're okay with that, actually, are you okay with that? Okay, because I often get people commenting as well on my relationship, kind of being like, oh, every person I know who's been with a Japanese person, their relationship doesn't make it, and whatever. And I'm just like, okay, like first of all,
Right.
the audacity, how dare you? Second of all, like I didn't ask for your opinion. Third of all, like the longevity for me doesn't necessarily mean whether a relationship has been successful or not, which is a whole different
Mhm.
conversation. But I'm very, very, very happy and fulfilled in my relationship with a Japanese man. And so, can you talk a little bit about that, and what are the difficulties or that you guys had to deal with, or other people's opinions on that, and how do you feel actually in the relationship?
Sure. Well, we will have been married for 7, 8 years. Yeah. Oh my God. It's
Wow.
been a while. Yeah, so it's been a while. Honestly, I think it's because we were friends first that it at the time it just felt like I was marrying my best friend because when we first met, like there was no like any kind of expectation or anything. It's just we met and we were just hanging out and we were just friends. And it wasn't until he decided out of nowhere, I guess, for me, he was like, "Yeah, we should go on a date." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "That's random, but okay." So he like
Ah.
literally took a 8-hour night bus from Gunma to Gifu to take me on a date. And at the time, my sister was like, "If you don't go on a date with this guy, you're crazy because that's some dedication." And I was like, right. So it's
Yes.
funny because we went on the date. He came to Gifu, and then I went to show him around Nagoya because I was like, "Yeah, I used to live here, so let's go around and I'll show you like where I used to hang out and stuff." And he had got a hotel to stay the night because he was like, "Yeah, I want to stay, and we should go out again tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And the second night, he bought his bus ticket to go back to Gunma, and we were sitting at Nagoya Station waiting for his bus to come. And I was like, "I don't want you to leave." And
Oh.
so after he left, I called my mom. As soon as the bus left, I was like, "Mom, I'm gonna marry that kid."
Oh, you just
I
knew.
did.
You did it, girl. Like, Wow. I often feel like you just kind of know when you know. I know that's so cringy and everyone says that.
It is. But
But
it's true. It's true.
yeah, right. And I think that what you just said with putting in the effort, like a lot of
Yeah.
women, I had a narcissistic abuse specialist on as well, and we talked about the breadcrumb, in toxic relationships, or I don't like the word
Hmm.
toxic, but in unhealthy relationships with narcissists or people who kind of string you along and they just give you a little bit of a
Hmm.
breadcrumb here and there, and then it keeps you going
Hmm.
because you're like always looking for that next breadcrumb to come,
Hmm.
maybe. And so I always like
Yeah.
to say to all of my girlfriends and everyone I talk with is like, if he wanted to, he would. And like, if he,
Hmm.
like, men are quite simple, I think, in the way that when they really love you and when they really, want you, they will show you. You will never question. You will never sit there and be like, does he like me? Like, no, like,
Yes.
no, probably.
Yes.
Sorry. Like, sorry, no, because you're questioning it. Like, it's,
Exactly. Yeah, I
yeah.
don't think I've ever had any doubt. Like there was a point when we were dating that we had planned to like do a video chat and he was late to it and I was like, I wonder if everything's okay. So he finally had called me like maybe like an hour after. He was like, yeah, sorry, I left my phone in my pants pocket and actually accidentally put it in the washing machine. And I was like, how are you calling me? And he's just like, I downloaded Line on my computer. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that's dedication because I would never even thought to do that. Like, oh yeah, you can use Line on your computer. And he was just
Yeah.
like, but I didn't want to miss the call. So I was like, oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah, there's always a way when you really love someone. I mean,
Yeah.
this goes beyond
Yeah.
romantic relationships. Like, if you really care
Mm-hmm.
for someone, you will find a way to meet their
Mm-hmm.
needs in some way. So, I think a lot of people
Exactly.
nowadays, they just use, like, yeah, I don't have the time, or I'm too
Yeah.
busy. Like, literally, you guys are both CEOs, I guess, or founders, right? And you just still
Yeah.
find the time. And
Yeah.
it's,
It gets, yeah. It
yeah,
does
go on.
get difficult now, especially since we are parents. So a lot
Mm.
of our free time, I guess, is parenting because we so we really do have to make the effort to find time for just us together, just the two of us, because we do a lot of family activities, which I don't mind. Like I love my son. He's so cute. He's so adorable. I love him so much. But you have to we are entering a phase of our marriage right now where we have to remind ourselves like, you know, sometimes it's okay for it to just be me and him. It doesn't have to be the three of us all the time. So I think that's what we're working on right now.
Yeah, I hear that from a lot of parents, and I don't know, I don't have a child yet, but I think a lot of mothers specifically feel this like mom guilt, and maybe I'm not
Mm,
doing enough, and
mhm,
maybe I'm not spending time enough,
mhm.
but I think kind of if it helps you, maybe, but I think what I would say there is that the better you feel and the better you guys' relationship is, the better you'll be able to raise your child. So it will always
Uh-huh.
have a positive rippling effect when you do
Yes.
really feel good about yourself as well and about your relationship. So
Mhm.
yeah, but yeah, how
I
about
agree.
the interracial relationship aspect? Like, have you guys ever had pushback there, or have there been people judging or anything similar?
Mm, not really that I can think of, because I've been really lucky in the fact that when I first met his parents before I moved to Gilman, like he invited me down here to meet his family before we announced that we were engaged. And his dad, I love his dad. He's so funny. He was just so just welcoming, and he was just like, because my husband has two brothers, and he's like, I've always wanted a daughter. I was like, okay, that's great. I mean, as far as his family goes, I've had no issues. Like they're very welcoming. They're very patient because I mean, I understand Japanese. Like I've been here forever, but like there's still some times where I'm like, what? So
Yeah.
they're very patient with me about that, and yeah, and same with his friends. Like I've never had any issues with them.
Yeah.
So in my personal experience, no, I didn't have any pushback. Same with my family. Like, my parents are very open about everything. Like, I tell my mom everything, probably a little too much.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. That's
So when
really,
I told her, I was,
yeah,
yeah.
what did she say?
Oh, she was excited. She was ecstatic. She was like, yeah, that's great.
Amazing. And yeah, I mean, the chances are high if you go to a faraway land such as Japan, where most
Yeah.
people are Japanese, that probably the person you're going to end up meeting and loving is going to be Japanese. Yeah, for me as well, I think it came I think for me as well, my parents just kind of got used to that I was just so not normal. I mean, with normal, I mean like how because I'm from a Turkish community, so everybody marries,
Really?
yeah, from Germany, but like in our own like
Mhm.
Turkish community, and everyone there just marries another Turkish person, and it's just kind of, it's already weird if they marry a German person. And so I was
Mhm.
always like not normal in that way, that I never did anything normal. I never had any normal hobbies, anything that they would consider normal. Like I always was out of the box in any way, and I could not be normal. Like I just could not force myself to be basic. I just couldn't do it. And I think over
She's so
time
basic.
they just could not, like, my parents just over time got used to it, and I think now they're super supportive with everything, and I think it taught them
Mhm.
a lot um, about themselves as well. So I wanted to ask you, as a parent, like, what is the biggest lesson that you have learned about life with your child?
I think for me, honestly, it's learning when to say no. I think as parents, we we get so wrapped up in so many other things, but we forget to take care of ourselves. And I honestly do believe that I let myself go to the wayside a lot when it comes to taking care of him and my husband. And I have to sometimes remind myself, like, if I don't want to do something, it's okay. I can say no. I can go back to sleep. I can, like, just not. And the first maybe 2 years of my son's life, I was probably a wreck because I was constantly worried about him because we would always have to go back to, like, the NICU hospital. He would have to have monthly checkups because he was so small. I think he was only, like, 3.5 pounds, 4 pounds
Oh,
when he was born. Yeah, he was very tiny. So I was probably a nutcase at the time, and I
yeah.
didn't yeah, and so it wasn't until, like, I guess as he got older, I started to realize, like, he is okay, it is okay. I can just not just be mom. I am still Jasmine. Like, there are things that I want and need, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
exactly. But I can hardly imagine, like, I mean, the NICU situation is already traumatic for both child and mother.
Mhm.
Um, I know a little bit about. I know actually a few people who have been in a NICU themselves as a baby. I think it can be very traumatizing for all people involved, specifically during COVID, when like you can
Yeah,
already not
yeah.
really, like, I cannot imagine
I
the
can't do anything.
worries. Yeah,
Yeah,
of
it was
course, you're gonna lose your mind as a mother, as a first time mother, right? As I understand.
yes,
Oh my
yes.
goodness. Wow. I mean, yeah, that's very traumatic and very valid. And what you said as well, that it's okay not to do something, that's okay to go back to sleep. I often feel like with my relationship currently as well, that I sometimes apologize for things that I are not bad. And then I'll ask
Mm,
him like, are you mad at me? And he'll always be like, why would I be mad at you for this? And then I kind of question myself, like, why would he be mad at me for this? Why would I be? Why is he? What? So it makes me like, it's really healing in a sense. Like relationships can be so wonderfully
mhm,
healing when it's someone healthy,
mhm,
because you realize that you're actually putting so much pressure on yourself, and especially maybe as a woman, I don't know, I feel like as women we put on specific pressures, like, I don't know, maybe in the
mhm,
household, or like we have to do
mhm,
everything. And I think if you have a partner who just accepts you the way you are and doesn't put those pressures on you, it's kind of mind-blowing in the beginning. Like for me, it's all the
Yeah.
time still. I'm like, okay, wait, he's not angry at me for not doing this thing. And it's like, I can't even tell you an example. It's like so stupid, small things that I'm questioning later my own sanity. Why would I even think he would be mad at me for this? But it's yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, I do. I mean, I feel like in my relationship, I'm more of a control freak, if that's the best way to describe it. Like, everything's on a schedule. Like, my calendar is like my Bible. Like, I honestly would lose my mind if I didn't have like a calendar schedule thing. But it also maybe because I just have so many things going on with like a business, the nonprofit, and my son's schedule and family stuff, like his family stuff. So it's just like, yeah, I would probably lose my mind
Yeah,
if
for me, honestly, in my business, I like in my professional life, and even now here with the podcast and private life, if I don't write it down immediately, it's gone, girl. It was never there.
yeah,
It it has disappeared
yeah.
out of my consciousness. I have to write things down, so I get that. But yeah, okay. But I think that's a good. I guess that's a good skill to have as a business owner, right? So to kind of go
Maybe.
back, yeah, to kind of go back to the business side of things, I wanted to ask you, what are some of the lessons that you've learned along the way, that are maybe unexpected, that people would not necessarily expect from, owning a business, like things that changed
Mm,
you, or changed, the way you look at life, maybe even, or you know.
I think the one thing I learned the most being a business owner is that honestly, you you have the control. I think a lot of people feel like they have to do certain things for their clients because they're afraid to lose their clients. But if that client is not good for you, and I have experience in this where I at a time bent over backwards for a certain client, but then realized that it probably was not the healthiest professional relationship.
Mm,
And sometimes it's okay to let people go. I mean, nobody wants to lose business, obviously, but when you're not getting back as much as you're giving, I think in that sense. It's what, and like, don't shortchange yourself. Because when I first started out, I honestly had no idea, like, how much should I charge for my services? Like, how much is my time actually worth? And my husband's a lot stricter than I am. He's always saying, like, you need to raise your prices. But I tried to, like I said, I started this because it was something I genuinely liked to do. It never was, I want to do this to make money.
mm-hmm.
Because I don't need to be completely frank. Like, I don't have to work. My husband's family is pretty well off. So if I didn't want to work, I don't have to. But I enjoy doing it. I love doing it. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to give these services to people who may not have a big budget, like small businesses or nonprofits or individuals, but they still deserve, quality, products. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so while my services, when you compare it to other like web design companies, especially here in Japan, is probably, I guess people would consider a steal, but they're just like, why you're so cheap? And I'm just like, is it though? Like, I don't I don't feel that way, but apparently so. But like I said, I never was doing this for the money. So I honestly get joy out of seeing when people see their websites for the first time and they're just like, oh my God, it's so amazing. I'm just like, right. Yeah.
Oh my God, girl, you are an angel. Honestly, I mean, this is like, I think it just comes naturally to you. I mean, honestly, I just met you, and I can see you're such a light. And I think, this is the thing. It's like, I think the issue in a lot of issues we have in the world right now is greed. And I don't
Mm,
necessarily think, I actually like money. I don't think money is bad. I think that it's a
right.
tool, right? Like it's a tool, and
Yes.
it's great to have money. I just think that the things that people are willing to sacrifice for more money when they already
Mm,
have actually so much
mm-hmm,
that they would not even see the difference of having double that. Like some
mm-hmm,
people are in those
mm-hmm.
positions, larger
Yeah.
corporations, for example, where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, you would never, if you woke up tomorrow and you would have half or double, you would not see the difference in your life. Like, and I think,
Yeah.
and so looking at you and how you approach this, you're like, okay, I don't necessarily need to work. I'm doing this because I love doing it, and I love, and you're purposefully kind of keeping your prices low to help also people who are in that position. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
just, I mean, it's lovely. It kind of shows your character, and I think it makes sense why you're also doing the volunteering and in the other organization. Um, I think that's just so beautiful, and yeah, I wish more people were like you. That's what I have to say about that. I mean, be proud of that. That's a wonderful. That's, I think, the thing that we can all be. A lot of things we have no control over, in the sense of, like, I don't know, like with the family you were born in, really, or things like that. But things we should be proud of is our character. If we work on ourselves, and, like, yeah, so be proud of that. And I think that's just, yeah, it's wonderful. And yeah, so now I wanted to ask you about okay, so tell us a bit about where you're originally from, right? And like, you're from the US, right?
Yes.
How is it for you now? Where is home for you now? Do you miss the US? Or yeah, tell us about that.
So I grew up in the state of Ohio. I'm from Cincinnati, and no, I don't think I will ever go back to America. If I'm going to be completely honest, and not just because of all the going on right now, but like I I don't know. I feel like ever since I was in high school that I knew that Ohio was not the place for me to settle down. I've always known that I was gonna move or leave. And right after I graduated university, when I had first come back from studying abroad, I moved to Florida for about 2.5 years. And I was trying to get into like the magazine industry, and because that was my degree at the time. And I was like, yeah, I really want to get into doing like photo journalism and travel photography and stuff like that. And somehow I ended up back in school. I went to
Oh no.
University of South Florida to do something. And at the time I was like, yeah, I just want to take more Japanese because I knew I wanted to go back to Japan to travel. And my Japanese teacher at the time in Florida was like, yeah, there's this opportunity to ALT. You should think about it. And I was like, I don't want to teach.
I feel
But
you.
I did the interview. Yeah, I did the interview with the recruiter, and he was just like, can you start next month? And I was like, what? So I
What?
called my mom and I was like, they want me to go to Japan like next month. And my mom was like, yeah, just do it. I love the relationship I have with my mom. Like, she's my biggest cheerleader. Like, when I first told her I was going to move to Florida, she was just like, okay, I'll help you load your car. Like, she's always been wanting to chase whatever dream that I've had. And I'm really lucky in that, 'cause some of my friends I've heard, like, their parents aren't really like that. And to this day, my mom, she comes to visit once a year to come see us. And I'm like, you should just move here. Just move here. It's fine.
Like, I love that so
Yeah.
much. It's very valuable because, as you say, not many people have that kind of relationship with their parents. And I think that maybe that's one of the most important like things that you can do as a parent, is to fully support whatever your child turns out
Mm-hmm.
to be, because you cannot, it's not an extension of yourself necessarily, it's its own
Right.
being, you know? And
Yeah.
that's so beautiful. So you guys are like very close, and you tell her
Yes.
everything or too much, as you said earlier.
To me. And I guess that's kind of the relationship I want to have with my son. Like, I always, every time I pick him up from school, I'm like, how was school? I know all his friends' names. They all know me. It's really weird because sometimes we'll be in the parking lot and they're like, oh, that's Nagisa's mom. Hi. And I'm just like, who is that? I don't remember who that kid is, but hi.
Just pretend.
Right. Yeah. And
Smile and
like,
wave.
yeah, just smile and wave. And like he's very creative, which he loves to draw. He loves to play with Legos. He likes to cook. And I think he's just a creative being. And so anytime he asks me, like, Mama, I want to get some new paint so I can paint. And I'm just like, yeah, let's go to the store. We'll get you some paint. Or if I'm cooking curry or something and he's like, can I help you chop the carrots? And I'm like, yeah, come on. You can help me. It's fine. I
Ah,
want him to have that relationship that I have with my mom, to come to me and just feel comfortable to just express himself and
yes, I love that,
whatever.
because I think like most of the issues in the world, I mean, I think all of the issues in the world come from mental illness, and I think almost all mental illness stems from issues with your parents and the way that you were raised and the people who were supposed to raise you. And so I think
Mm,
one of the most important things when it comes to mental health is the relationship with your parents. Um, and if that wasn't easy, then obviously you can find as an adult other resources and friends and people who can become your family. But if you're already in a position, where you are a young parent, or maybe I don't know if this helps anyone, but um, I think if your child feels so comfortable with you that they can tell you anything, you did it right, and they're
mm-hmm.
not afraid of you maybe to tell you something, then that means they don't have to hide things from you. And actually that means they are more safe because you're able to keep them safe. And you know
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I that's lovely. Yeah,
Yes.
I love that so much. You said that Japanese people, sorry, we're gonna all over the place, but you mentioned
It's
that
okay.
Japanese people who are more like silent givers. What
Mm-hmm.
do you think that is? Like, why do you think that is?
I honestly feel like it's just part of the culture, right? Like I feel like Japanese people aren't very showy. They're not very braggy. Like, and if they are going out of their way to volunteer or donate or do something like that, it's not really something that is announced. Like it's also why it's kind of difficult to find out about certain things because it's just like if you know, you know, and or you know through somebody who is already going to said event. So I feel like that's the main reason that they don't want to come off as being like, oh well, I went to volunteer, so I'm a good person, right? Type
Yes,
type of situation. Like they just do it. They just do it, and we go home, and you're like, yeah, I did that. It's great.
that's
And you
really
just go
cool.
on with life.
Yeah. But then I wonder, so where I'm asking too is like, I wonder then if actually for the organization it would be actually healthier if people would kind of talk about it more, because then you have the word
Yeah,
of mouth, and you have people maybe not to
yeah.
brag but to be like, hey guys, this is a cool organization. I guess you have that less in Japan then. So I guess you must need more than social media or marketing initiatives, right? To make people aware of these.
we we're in our second year of awareness with Giving Tuesday Japan, and I feel like this year has been a really good year for us because we have been getting a lot more partner sign up. So a lot of organizations are finding out about us. We are starting to work with like schools, so universities and junior and elementary school kids to do like our Spark program, which is we want to get young people, more interested in farming since the farming community in Japan is older people and
Oh,
they really need the help. So we want to get the young people more into it because well they need it. And we did like a collaboration with the YouTuber this past summer, Ricky with Japan Mates, and he went around Tokyo and interviewed people on the street. And he was like, hey, do you volunteer? Do you know about Giving Tuesday? Why do you volunteer? Why don't you volunteer? So that was really good, helpful feedback, because it was just random Japanese people on the street. And we took that information like, oh, and, surprisingly, some of the people he did interview already know about Giving Tuesday. So we were like, we're doing something right because
Wow.
they knew about us. Yeah. So that's good. And we're hoping to do another collaboration with him next year, with him going and asking students this time, because I feel like younger people are more into it. But yeah, so that's exciting.
Yeah, like college campuses. I mean, out of the top of my head, you have these circles in Japanese business,
Hmm.
like universities. Maybe there's some circles where they can go volunteer together. You guys could maybe do something there. Um,
Yeah.
wow, I mean that's super super cool, and I'm learning now again because I started this podcast literally 2 months ago, and yeah, just 2 months ago, I'm still a baby in the YouTube world and a podcast baby and a marketing baby and like my own brand kind of baby. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of things. One of the biggest challenges I am experiencing is, but people say like, oh, you have to be consistent and consistently put out content, especially as a
Mhm.
YouTuber kind of. And I don't have really issues with that because I think I can be consistent. I can hold myself accountable to a schedule. I'm kind of, as you said, like I need my schedule, I need my thing. So, but then once I have that, I'm fine. I can do it. I do everything myself.
Mhm.
I reach out to people myself. I schedule the calls. I choose the people I want to talk to. I then,
Mhm.
prepare the questions and the
Mhm.
research. Sometimes better than other times, but I do the editing and then the marketing side of it all, right? So one of my biggest
Mhm.
challenges is, I think you don't know this about me, but I actually deleted all social media like 8 years ago, I think. So
Really?
yeah, so it's like YouTube, which for me is more like a platform that I watch videos on. I personally don't like social media for my personal use. So, but I need that now,
Mm.
right, for my podcast and my brand and everything. So I was thinking about all
Mhm.
of that. So my biggest, I guess, hurdle or something that I'm working on is to find my voice in the marketing and in
Mhm.
that kind of social media world. And I think
Mhm.
I think I have a voice when I talk and when I do this podcast and when I talk to the camera or to my
Mhm.
guests. I really enjoy that, and I think I'm authentic. I know who I am. I know how to talk. But for me to put that in writing or to have like a marketing strategy for myself is something I'm working on. So do you have any tips for me
Mm.
or anything from your experience? Now that you talk to me a little
Mhm.
bit, now that I have you here, we can have a little discussion about this. I think would be interesting or helpful for anyone who is starting their own brand or something. Um, how do you show your own voice in your marketing strategy, I guess, or website?
It's
Yeah.
really funny. It's funny that you say that, because one of my first clients within the first year that I was open with Snow Stylings, she was on the Jet program, and then she also started a podcast while she was in Jet. And she does poetry, and she teaches poetry to young people. And that was just like her niche thing. Like, she wanted to do like a podcast, like interviewing other poets and doing poetry and telling her story and X, Y, and Z. And so she was in season 1 at the time. And she was like, yeah, Jasmine, I need a website. So can you help me? And I was like, yeah, sure. And so I made her website and everything. And we got it all up and running. And she was like, okay, well, I got this thing. So, like, no, what do I do next? And I'm just like, you probably should start marketing your podcast so that people can see it, because you're uploading it, but it doesn't matter if nobody sees it. And so her name is Amanda, and she's with the Poet Speaks podcast. And now I'm pretty sure she's in season 9, 8, 9. She just got her podcast on PBS, which is crazy. Like, she has her own PBS special now.
Wow.
And she was, And she just did like an event in New York, and like people were like driving to see her. And I was like, I remember when you were in season 1 and nobody knew who you were. And now you're like, you have like your own like Roku channel special and PBS special, and you're doing gigs in New York. Like, what is happening? Like, she's not living in Japan anymore. She lives in New York now. And
Wow.
it's just crazy. And so, like, it's possible. You can get there. Literally, what we did for her is we really targeted her marketing for her audience, because poetry and that kind of stuff is very a niche side of YouTube. Like, your average person isn't just YouTube Googling, I want to watch poetry videos, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We made like a strategy. We started posting a lot on social media with hashtags and getting other poets involved in her podcast to also repost it. So like having like a little web network. So whenever she would invite someone on, they would then post it and tell people to go follow her and check her stuff out and blah, blah, blah. And then whenever she would have an event, we would advertise it for her and make sure that like the word got out, and it just kind of snowballed effect. Like it didn't even really take that long. I feel like she's been doing it for 2 years now.
That's
Yeah,
still new, yeah. Wow.
yeah. She's been doing it for about 2 or 3 years now, and she's already, a starlet in New York. And I'm like, I knew you before nobody knew you. Don't forget me.
I'm one of your OGs.
Little.
Yes. I was here.
I mean, she's technically still my client. So, like, I still do marketing for her. And it's great. But, like, yeah. So, I sent her a Tsunoda Stylings cup, like, mug with a logo. And I was like, use your mug in your podcast. So people will be like, yeah, like, who's that? They're like, she could say, like, oh, that's the girl who made my website.
Yay.
Oh, yeah.
Product placement.
Help me.
Yes.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So I feel like that would be good for you. And I mean, people are always, I feel like with you, it's probably a little more easier. Like, it's a little more broad because you talk with like entrepreneurs and business owners, and especially if you target your podcast on social, like certain networks like LinkedIn and stuff, people will eat that stuff up. Like, you have no idea.
Yeah, like
No idea.
LinkedIn actually for me is where I get most outside traffic into my YouTube is LinkedIn, because I think I have the most. I'm just using it longer than my Instagram. Literally was created 2 weeks ago or something. So I'm still, new. I'm an Instagram baby. And by the way, Instagram changed so much. I have no idea, guys. What is TikTok?
It has.
And why are there AI cats dancing? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I also. I don't know. I only use TikTok for business purposes. I don't use it for personal anymore because I'm just like, this is out of control. But a lot of my clients use TikTok, so like I kind of have to stay up to date with it. But personally, no, I don't have one. I have one for Snow Stylings though, but
yeah, this is the
barely.
thing.
Like,
yeah, I agree. Like for me, it's the same. I'm not really interested. I'm not a TikTok, or I don't have TikTok even on my phone. But Instagram I do. So I don't even scroll on it. I just post for my podcast. And what I try to do now is I'm trying to show people a bit more about who I am. Also, in the like social media world. And even with LinkedIn, I realized that like I didn't even do it on purpose. But the other day I posted a selfie with one of my guests. And the episode is not up yet, but I was like talking about how the most wonderful thing about this podcast journey for me is the amazing people like you, the people I meet along the way, and kind of what I learned through it all. And it's just wonderful, the community that you kind of create. And that post, I think, was quite successful for my level of where I'm at. And I was like, wow, people just want kind of like to know the humans behind it all, even on like business focused platforms such as LinkedIn. And And I'm over here overthinking, like, oh my God, should I write this? Like, no, I think people really like authenticity. So I'm trying to be a
Yeah.
bit more me, and also just some silly things that I did or do.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to,
I think you
yeah.
should focus like on that route. Like obviously you want to cater to the audience that you're targeting, but people really do just want to get to know you. That's why they're there, to get to know you.
Yeah, especially like, my podcast, for example. Sorry, now we're talking about this, but I really love your opinion on this, and I think people can learn from that. For small people, I mean, I'm not small. I'm actually 170, so I think I'm not small, but the for small creators, I think people would benefit from this conversation because I think for me, I am so interested in so many different people, and I don't want to niche down on my guests. I just don't want to do that. But
Mhm.
something which might change, and people are like, it's difficult to market. And I'm like, I don't care. And why I say that is like, I actually believe that my viewers who find this and who are interested in these kind of types of conversations, I think they are people who can handle one episode with a founder,
Mhm.
and then next episode with a spiritual teacher, and then next episode with a therapist, and then
Mhm.
next episode with an artist, because of the depth of conversation that I'm having with these people.
Mhm.
And I kind of go all, as you can tell now, talking to me for like 40 minutes, is that I go all the way, right? We talk about the business aspect, but I'm also
Yep.
interested in you as a human, and what did you learn as a mother,
Yeah.
for example. So this is the way I do I have a conversation. I'm not having an interview with you, because otherwise I'm also
Exactly.
talking. I want us to have a conversation. So
Mhm.
this is kind of my style, and I don't want to niche it down too much, because I have a trust in my viewership that they can handle that, and
Mhm.
they would actually like that. And how cool is it
Mhm.
if someone comes here and they see you, right, with this episode right now, and they're like, this is so cool. I want to I want to learn about this founder in living in Japan, American girl, who's a mother. And then, maybe they subscribe, and then they see another video, which is of, I don't know, like a
Mhm.
therapist conversation. And they're like, whoa, I didn't know I was interested in this, or there was something I could learn from that. How
Yeah.
cool is that?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. I think you're on the right path. I don't think you should limit yourself, because I honestly believe that nothing is impossible to market. I just feel like
mm,
people aren't really up to the challenge to do it. There's always a wrong way to market, but it's never impossible to do it. Because I feel like I have a wide scope of clients. So anywhere from an e-commerce client to one of my clients is like a real estate agent. So it's just like this two totally different things, but you just need to know what they're looking for, what kind of return they want on their investment, and you just go from there. It's an ongoing relationship. You're obviously not gonna see things like within the first day or the first month. It's a process. Like you try something. If it works, you build on it. If it doesn't work, you pivot. That's just how I've been doing it, and I feel like it's great. It's fun because you also get to learn more about your audience that way too when you start to play around with it.
yes, yes, I really care actually
Yeah.
about my audience. I still have right now, while we're recording, I haven't hit 100 subscribers yet, but I already am like, oh my God, so many people! Like, this is so cool, and I wonder what kinds of people there are. But most people are silent watchers, so most people don't really comment,
Um.
which is fine. That's a good
Yeah.
sign, I think, because I think most people actually comment when
Yeah.
they're angry or something. But so that's a good thing. I tell myself. But I would love to hear from you guys more. Please comment something. Tell me anything. Do you have any thought about this conversation right now? Tell me. I'm breaking the fourth wall. But
I feel like 100 is still a lot. Like that's a lot of people. I honestly don't. I wouldn't get too too pressed
absolutely.
about the numbers,
Yeah.
because even with like Amanda, I'm pretty sure she, like in the grand scheme of YouTube, really don't think she has that many followers. But she's doing so many things outside of YouTube that still makes it impactful. Like she had a whole like seminar in New York. And it's just like you
So
wouldn't
cool.
know that like just by looking at her YouTube, but she does post other places like LinkedIn and Instagram and stuff. So when you combine it all together, it paints the whole story. So I feel
Yes.
like just that one platform doesn't really show all of you. There's still
Yeah.
more to it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also I think it is a lot of people already. I'm like, this is cool. Like, this is so cool. And because I genuinely
Yeah.
love what I do, I genuinely love what
Mhm.
I do. And the guests I have on, what everything, something that all of them have in common is that they love what they do, and you can tell. Like I can tell, like listening to you and like talking to you, how much you love what you do, and you really believe in it, and it is a purpose for you, and you are making the world a better place, right? And I know this is cringy again, but I really believe I am making the world a better place with this type of thing that I'm doing. And yeah, so yeah, I absolutely think, like, I mean, not everyone has to be Mr. Beast, and that's fine. I don't want to be Mr. Beast, right?
Right.
I can appreciate that. It's just a different thing. And so I really think, as you say, like, as long as you kind of, it's kind of value creation, what we're talking about. Like your friend Amanda,
Mhm.
the other podcaster, she is creating value for her specific niche, which is poets. And how cool is that?
Mhm.
How cool is it
Mhm.
even to be in a niche, right? But maybe in the niche, people know about her and people really love her content, and it teaches them
Mhm.
something. Maybe it changes their lives a bit, and that's wow. I mean, that's
Mhm.
more than most people do. Sadly, I think
Yeah. Yeah.
I think most people are creators in some way. As you talked about your
Mhm.
son, I'm thinking, there's so many ways of being creative. What do you think about this? What's your, like, I think a lot of people, like, suppress their creativity. Do you have
Mhm.
anything you do on a daily basis? I know you do so many things, mother, and I'm sure, as you said, you're cooking, you're creating, you're doing your business, you're doing the marketing, and all of these things, the volunteering. Do you have like a daily habit or something to get your creative side, I don't know, flowing or?
I guess music. I love music. I've always loved music. I would go to karaoke every day if I could. Like, I just, I, it, whenever I'm working, I usually have music playing in some capacity, whether it's with lyrics or without lyrics, whichever. I'm always singing in the car. It's a whole production. I think that it keeps me motivated, I think, because if I'm like, in a good mood, then I feel like my creativity is flowing better. Like it shows more in what I do. And I think that's for me it's music. I love it. I love music. I would do it if I could. My sister actually is a singer, but not me. But yeah,
Not
so
you. Are
she
you
actually makes
sure? Are you sure?
no.
Yeah, I'm
I've
sure.
been told, like, I've been told by a lot of people that I should do, like, voice acting because everyone's like, "Your voice sounds like an anime character," and I'm just like, "What?" And then
Yeah,
I don't know that.
it does. You have
Really?
yeah, actually yes, I do sign up with that because you have like such a feminine, cute voice. Like you could actually really do voice acting. Yeah, you could. That's so cool.
So, but no, I don't sing. I mean, I sing in the car, but I don't
But
in
you know
karaoke,
what?
but I don't sing.
But me too. I'm the same. I sing a lot actually on a daily basis. My poor
Mhm.
boyfriend has to stand through all of live through all of that. Um, I just think I think it's okay. Not everyone has to be a producing musician. You can just be a musician in your own,
Yeah.
in your own house, basically. And kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
I love that so much. And dancing too, it's underrated how much it grounds you,
It
and
is.
it's healing for your
It
body. And,
is.
we've become so stiff. Even adults, we often try to like stay like put in one place, which is actually so unnatural. So,
Uh-huh.
like movement and yeah, that kind of, I love that. So, you should continue singing in your car. And what does your husband think about that? He's okay.
We like all three of us, like if I'm playing something, we'll just all bust into song. It's just like a whole family karaoke in the kitchen,
I
like
love that.
all the time.
And you have a son, right? That's a son.
Hmm.
He's a son. So is do you guys talk to him in English or in Japanese?
Both. We use both. I think his first language is Japanese. But his English comprehension, I think like listening skills are very good. He can read English, but he speaks more Japanese than he does English. So if I speak to him in English, he understands me, but 9 times out of 10, he'll respond to me in Japanese. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
That sounds like me as a child with my parents. They were like trying to only talk to me in Turkish and I would like respond in German. I get it. I get it. But it's
Yes.
it's also because he lives in Japan, right? So it's more of his home country, I guess. Um
Yeah.
Wait, there's a loop. I'm gonna ask you more about the website thing in a bit, but there's a loop that doesn't close in my head right now about the US. Like what is it that you don't that makes you not want to live there anymore? When you go back and you see it, like what do you think?
I just feel like there's nothing there for me. I also feel like I've been here for so long in Japan that the last time that I went back to America, I felt out of place. I guess is the best way to describe it. Like it didn't feel like home, I guess, is the best way to say it. Like I honestly sometimes forget I'm in a foreign country. When I like on a day-to-day basis, it's just my life. And because where I live in Guma is such a small community, like a lot of people just know, well, I stand out, but a lot of people just know me. So like it just feels like just like I'm just integrated into the community at this point. So yeah, so it's just like even and this is embarrassing, but even like when I go to 7-Eleven, like around the corner from my house, the Obachan behind the counter, she's always like, "Oh, how's your son? Like, he's so cute. Next time, bring him in, blah, blah, blah." And I'm just like, I come here too much. But I was like, okay,
It's not
I
embarrassing.
will.
I know, I love that.
Yeah. So I
No.
think that's really it. Like, I feel like I've found my place here and I've found my person here and my family. And, I do wish that my parents and my siblings could visit more, but, even just seeing them once a year is something. Like, I mean, some people's family can't even do once a year, so I'm glad that they can come visit, and I don't think it's necessary for me to move back. Like, I really don't. So I have no plans to.
Yeah, I can
Mm.
also tell just talking to you, like your vibe, your energy is Japanese. I mean, whatever that
Really?
means. But like I feel the same way and I don't want to put anyone in a box or anything, but for me, same
Mhm.
thing. I forget that for me this is home. So even though I have not been
Mhm.
here as long as you are, but I've been here since a long time ago and then again and again. So for me, it
Mhm.
does feel like a long time. And I have very
Mhm.
close Japanese people that I would consider my family even. So
Mhm.
I'm sometimes though I have this weird alienating experience where I'm in the train in Tokyo, and I'm going to work or something. And all of a sudden I have this like, oh, I'm in a, I'm in Japan. I'm in a different place. What? But like for me
Yeah.
that is like, and I know sometimes I used to always say to my Japanese friends, they always said to me, because I speak fluently, not perfect, but fluently.
Mhm.
And they would always say, like, we forget that you're not Japanese. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I forget because I don't see my face. I don't know how I look like while I'm
I
talking Japanese.
I get that so much too. Like whenever I'm like have to take my son to the doctor or like something, everything is in Japanese. You have to fill out the forms. And I remember I was just taking him to like the eye doctor like the other month, and I went in and she was just like, "Oh yeah, you have to fill out the patient form." And she was just like, "Can you read this?" And I was just like, "Yes." And I took the pen and I just started filling out. She was like staring. I was like, "Why is she so surprised?" I'm like, "Oh
Yeah.
well." But I'm
Yeah.
like, for me, I'm just like, oh, I've been doing this for like almost 6, because he's almost 6. I'm like, been doing this for 6 years. So the forms are almost all the same. So I kind of almost memorized it. So I'm just like, yeah, 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 yeah. I know how to read this. It's fine. But yeah.
Yeah, for you, it's your everyday experience. You know who you are. But for that other person, it's like, oh, it's a foreigner. How is she supposed to? Sometimes the one thing, like I'm not someone who like screams racism at every little thing because I genuinely don't think it
Hmm.
is racism often. I think people just often don't know and they are just a little bit
Hmm.
like they're just curious about you and like so I try to not use that word too often because I think
Mhm.
it waters down what racism, like real racism really is, which I also experienced.
Mhm.
I don't want to, but something that does
Mhm.
kind of irritate me sometimes, and like, I want to know if you had this experience, is like when I speak in fluent Japanese, and let's say I'm in a 7-Eleven, I speak in fluent Japanese, and the person behind the counter, like, speaks back to me in English that is so bad that I don't understand. So I literally say to them in Japanese, like, you can talk to me in like Japanese. And then
Mhm.
and then they speak in like a stupid Japanese, like as if I'm like do you put money in this, like, I don't, and I'm just like, now I'm completely lost. And so then I like, this is when I get a bit irritated. It's like, when I just told you, and you just had this
Mhm.
conversation with me in fluent Japanese, why can you just not go with the flow there? And I understand,
Mhm.
but then I'm like, I'm in Tokyo, dude. Like, your colleagues are
Yeah.
foreigners. What the hell? Like, so
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, this is a bit where I'm a bit like annoyed, Do you have things like that, or are you just?
I really honestly think that happens more in the city than it does in Inaka, because where I live at in Guma, I don't experience that much at all. Even like in the bigger cities, like in Takasaki or like in Saitama, people don't really do that. But like, I recently, for Giving Tuesday, we went to Osaka for the expo to do like a piece on one of the charities that we partner with. They had a booth in one of the pavilions, so we went down there to interview them and everything. And it was my first time out of Guma in like a while, and I had to remind myself, like, oh my god, like, there's just so many other kinds of people in Japan, like, even like different, even the difference of Japanese in Osaka compared to Guma. I was just, the mannerisms were different,
Everything.
and I was just like, what in the world?
Yeah, yeah, I
It
know.
was this, that was in Japan culture shock. Like, I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
what?
Yeah, absolutely. I get it. And I'm always shocked when I see another like foreigner speaking Japanese. I'm like, oh, you're 日本語が上手ですね. And I'm like, wait, I'm one of them now. Oh my goodness. Like, it's so confusing. I'm actually like, I have lived in Fukuoka first. That was my first Japanese experience. So for me, I think it's both has like its ups and downs. The cool thing in Fukuoka is like
Mm-hmm.
I stand out and people like approach me and I make these like connections. Or even in Inaka, I will never forget one day, because I have like a Japanese, I call them my Japanese family. Like, it's like an older couple that are like my parents and they live in Fukuoka. And so we did like a lot of road trips together. And one day we did a road trip into a little, yeah, around Kyushu. And there was like a small village that we went in, like literally Inaka, middle of nowhere. I don't even know where it was. And we went in there just to stop and like buy some food. And I went to the supermarket and it was like quite a large one. So I like go in and it was like everyone stops and all the little Japanese grandmas, they stare at me. And I felt like a celebrity. I was like, ooh, okay, So it was like, and
Yeah.
then, you know what I mean? So I go like around and
Yeah.
then this like Japanese lady, because I bought some like korokke, like croquettes. I don't know what's in English.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this potato thing that I love.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
everything was like handmade. I love that about Inaka in Japan. It's amazing.
Nice. Yeah.
And so I have that in my hand and she's like, and she comes to me, this one lady, she comes while everyone else is staring. This one lady approaches me and she's like, oh, you should really try this and that. Have you tried that before? Do you like korokke? Is this what you eat? Like,
Cute.
yeah, it's so cute. And it was just, I don't know, I love it. It's a different experience, man. I always say I couldn't
Yeah,
really
it
live
is.
in that all the time because I enjoy the thing in Tokyo
Mm-hmm.
that nobody cares and you can just go on with my day. But
Yeah.
I do love it too. It's like it's the original Japan. I feel like it's how people are still, they approach you, and I think they approach each other
Mm-hmm.
too. I think they approach, how in a big city just
Mm-hmm.
people talk less with each other. I guess that's what I want to say. Um,
I think that's it.
yeah. But yeah, Jasmine,
Oh,
we don't have too much time left, but I wanted to ask you about your
sure.
website as well. Like, I don't have a website yet, so
Mm-hmm.
what is like something that people should know about creating a website? What's the most important thing you would say when you create your own website for your own kind of, I don't know, maybe you're a business owner, maybe you're a freelancer, something, what is the most important thing you'd say?
I would say be consistent, because starting with your branding material, so like just the logo itself, goes a long way. I've had clients before where they've come to me and they're like, yeah, I want to start, but they have nothing. So we're literally grasping for straws out of thin air. And I'm just like, I need like a color palette or something. Help me. Help me out here. But even I would say, like, if you have a logo already, great. Then we'll just build off of the logo, because your style should match what you're trying to tell. Because the very first, like your landing page, your home page, it'll make or break, basically. Like, you got to grab them in from the first click and keep them on for as long as you can, or else what's the point in having a website, honestly? So I would say be consistent, and especially matching your social medias to your website. Like, because if somebody sees your podcast or a snippet on like Instagram Reels, and they go to your website and they're like, what the hell? Like, am I even on the right site?
Yeah.
Like,
The whole
yeah.
branding, has to fit, you mean, right? And the logo has to, what are the brand colors? I'm working on that right now. I still am completely, right now it's still a bit random, just something I kind of put together quickly because I just wanted to start, because I put it off so long. And now I'm in the phase where I'm a little bit more thinking, okay, what do I want my brand colors to be? I'm brainstorming still, and I'm thinking about it. But do you think a website is needed?
Yes. Because even if you just had YouTube and didn't have like Instagram or whatever, people want the information. Like, say if somebody wanted to reach out to you for sponsorship or whatever, they want to look at something, like whether it be just your story, portfolio, the past things. Having it all on the website, I feel like, especially if you have like a media kit. Also, a lot of influencers should have a media kit. So like, just one simple PDF document that says, here's all of my stuff, here are my stats, here X, Y, and Z, here's how to reach me. It just
Business
depends on what
email.
all you want to put on there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think
I feel like
one,
that.
maybe it's vain, but I think it's important, is if you have a website, you just seem 1000% more professional, right?
I think so too. I think so too,
Yeah.
honestly, because I've experienced things where I would go to a place like a restaurant or something, and I'd be like, yeah, I want to see if they have like their menu online so I can look. And it's just like, oh, we only have an Instagram. And I'm like, and it discourages me, because I'm just like, well, what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah,
You don't
know
even have a
exactly.
website.
Yeah, I know exactly what you feel. Like I have to sometimes research stuff at my workplace, and I cannot use Instagram on my computer at workplace. So I'm like, where is the website? There's no website for this restaurant. Why? Like I get like, meanwhile, I don't even have brand colors, dude. Okay, but we're making progress.
You have to start somewhere. And I feel like you taking the step to start to make your branding kit is great, because you honestly need that first. Like, what are your colors? What is your typography? What kind of font script do you want? Like, do you want to mix and match? Because some people do. They'll have like their main header font that'll be like something cute and cursive or whatever. And then the regular text will just be like, a regular text. You can mix and match. You can have like a dark mode and a light mode
Yeah.
type of situation going on. There's a lot of ways to play around with it. And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
your time to get creative. You're in the fun part, I think, honestly.
Yes, yes, but also overwhelming, because it's like my own
Yeah.
thing from the beginning. I can basically do whatever I want, and sometimes that
Yeah.
is a bit overwhelming. And I've been thinking about colors for a while. I mean, right now I don't know if you can see it while we're recording, but I have this like one
Yeah.
image thingy that's like, it looks like colors kind of mixed. Like we have purple, we have a bit of like a fleshy pink. Ugh, that sounded disgusting. And then like a bit of like like a beigey. I don't know what's it called, but I'm thinking a lot about that, and I'm inspired by some people, and I have some ideas, but I kind of I haven't put it together yet, but I will soon, because I think it's super important. And having a marketing background myself, obviously I care.
Yeah.
But I do care most about the content. So I think if the content is great, it matters because you have to stand out, but I think the content is the most important thing and the thing that people come back for. As a big example, Joe Rogan is the biggest podcast in the world, and he has almost, what is his market? I like his podcast. It's just like, it has no, like, the thumbnails. He doesn't care. And he doesn't have to. He's in a position where he can do that, right? Where he can just upload and millions of people will watch it, which is super cool. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just saying, I think people come mostly for the content. So
yeah.
But yeah, thank you.
Honestly, you shouldn't stress about it, because and there's also, I always try to stress to my clients and remind them, like, it's okay to change things. You don't have to commit unless you're trademarking. Then you have to commit. But before that stage comes, you don't have to commit. You can trial. It can be a trial and error. I've had clients where I've refreshed websites for them because they're like, I want to change this branding. It's not me anymore. I don't want to do it. And we did a complete rebranding, and it worked out fine.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to commit until you trademark it. Then you have to commit.
Absolutely.
But you don't have to commit to it. If you feel like you want to just test it out, or even ask your viewers too, when you get to the point where you're like, which logo do you like?
Yeah.
Which one do you guys think we should have? And then make it, interactive for them. And then they'll feel special and important about it, because they're like, oh, you're asking my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and even, I guess, even if you do have a trademark, you can still change your trademark. I mean, again, you have to pay money, probably, I assume, but
yeah.
But then you can still do it. Yeah, I really have to think about that. I'm brainstorming. Thank you so much, Jasmine. My last, before we end the interview, or conversation, I have I have like a rapid fire round where I ask you a few questions and you just answer quickly.
Ooh.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, what's the first thing you do in the morning?
Wake up my son.
Oh,
First thing I do.
Yes.
I wake up and then I wake him up.
Yeah. A mother's answer. What's a website that you love or that inspired you, that you remember?
I feel like this is cheating, but I feel like the Giving Tuesday website, because it's so international.
Wait, which one?
The Giving Tuesday website, like the main global site.
Yes.
There's so many elements to it, but it doesn't feel overwhelming, if that makes sense, because all of the countries come together on one site, but it doesn't feel like it's got too much going on. It's not too busy. So I feel like that's cheating, but yeah.
No, it's not. There's no rules here. I make the rules and there are no rules. What's one charity in Japan that you would that you want to tell everyone about right now?
Think the one that I'm most interested in right now is, well, there's two. One is Single Mother Sisterhood, and they help to get support for the single moms in Japan. I feel like there's still kind of a stigma around divorced women or women who have had children out of marriage, and there's not a lot of help for them. Like, you hear a lot about people helping, like, kids or underprivileged kids, or maybe even homeless people, but like single moms are kind of like down there at the bottom, and I feel like that's kind of messed up. Yeah,
it is.
The other one I would say is Global Coin Solution and Pocket Change. So what they do basically is, whenever you are traveling around any country, you know how you exchange your money from your local money to the country that you're visiting. If you don't want to take back the money, or if you can't exchange it back, you can donate it. So they have like these kiosks set up around all of Japan, and well, all everywhere, but mostly you can find them like at major train stations or at the airport. And say if you're like, oh, I have like a couple of bags of like coins, like yen coins or whatever, but it's not worth it for me to exchange it back, you can donate that money into the box, and then, or the kiosk, and then you could choose on the kiosk where you want that money to go, like to Red Cross or to, or whatever, UNICEF or whatever. And I thought that was so cool, because like you don't really think about that. Like when you're traveling, you're just like, yeah, I just have this extra money, and if you take it home, it just kind of sits in a drawer and you forget about it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, but you can make use of that money to go towards something that can help somebody else. Yeah, so they're doing their campaign right now to get more kiosks set up in more airports and train stations and stuff. And I just said, I was like, that's so cool.
That is really
I think
cool.
that's
That's really,
yeah.
really cool. And I actually did think about that because I'm an ex-cabin crew. I'm an ex-flight attendant. So I would have this issue a lot. So what I would do is, dude, I'm never going to go to that destination again because whatever, for whatever reason, or maybe I'm quitting the job or I'm not interested. I would give it to my other cabin crew friends because it's not enough money for me to make a big difference, and it would help them. It gives them some some change in the when they go there. So that's, yeah, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
And just what I wanted to say before we end about single mothers, absolutely, that's such an important conversation that's not had enough. I think that being a single mother seems like it's one of the hardest things in the world, and so lonely. And in our society nowadays, there's not enough community, and people are so lonely, and they don't know how to raise their child alone. And it's actually impossible to raise a child alone. Like, you need some help somehow. And so there's this initiative in somewhere in is it in Denmark or Sweden or something? Sorry, guys. Again, I don't know, but you can look it up. Hopefully, it's like a community of women who live together, who are all single mothers. So what they do is they kind of help each other in a community. So one day one woman is looking after the children, the other day another one, and so you're not alone. You're not alone with all of these chores and all of these things you have to do as a parent. And I think that's wonderful. Thank you for bringing that to everyone's attention.
Yes.
And so thank you so much, Jasmine, for being on my show.
I know, I had so much fun. This is so great.
You are such a great conversationalist. Like, I almost didn't even look at my notes because I was just inspired to talk with you. I talked too much in this episode because you were such a great guest, and yeah, I loved having the conversation with you. Thank you. And
yay!
Yay! And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you liked this, please subscribe, share, and write a comment. I'm reading every comment, and I'm commenting back on every comment, actually. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. And everything about Jasmine will be in the description below, and you can check out her work, what she does, and all of her socials. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you soon.